Hello and welcome to your lesson for today. My name is Kyle Broda with FullSkillsExamPrep.com. We're here to help you pass your ICCRC exam. This is part 3 of the 10-part series on answering the ICCRC sample questions. So remember that the ICCRC gave you some sample questions through their website. If you can't find the link, I'll show you here once more. And of course, in the first video of this series, we explain in detail how to find these questions. Again, these questions are really great. They help you by showing you what the exam questions look like. For yourselves as well, it's always more interesting to look up the answer to a question rather than read an article. Because you see a story and all that stuff, it helps you quite a bit. And of course, you can test out your knowledge on these subjects. However, the difference between the ICCRC questions and the questions that we provide is that the ICCRC doesn't give answers to those questions on their website. They don't provide references either, so you can't really understand why that answer is correct, and they aren't updated, as we'll see. However, our books are always updated. We have 300 questions for you. We offer a few free questions as well on our website, so take a look over there, and that'll help you practice as well. And of course, we provide the answers and references for you. We always update everything right away, so because your exam will be updated as well. And of course, we have a lot of happy customers. But let's get into this one here. So number 3, I'll read it for you. Rudolf received a job offer from an employer in Alberta. He is asking you to represent him in his application for a provincial nomination and permanent residence. During the initial interview, he tells you that he lived in Ontario 3 years ago, that he plans to move there after he receives his permanent residence status. What should you do? You probably have an idea already about what you should do. The answers that they provide you with, we have A, advise Rudy not to mention his plans during the interview with the provincial government. We have B, advise Rudy that his plans to move to Ontario make him ineligible for provincial nomination in Alberta. We have C, proceed with retaining the client. You're not obliged to disclose anything the client tells you. And we have D, refuse to retain the client and report him to the PNP office in Alberta. Okay, so take a look. I'll give you a minute here and see if you can answer the question yourself. And as always, we'll do our analysis of the answers, and hopefully you got the same answers as we did. Alright, 1 minute is up. I hope you found an answer. And if you didn't, it's okay, we'll take a look together. So the important parts of this job here, so he has a job offer from an employer in Alberta, so that we know that he probably qualifies for a PNP program. Okay, he wants you to represent him in the transition from a PNP to a PR. And we look at Ontario, so he plans to move there after he receives his permanent resident status. That's when we look at the magic word intent. Okay, if you look at page 26 of your test day data booklet, you'll see in the PNP programs the requirements of those programs, and then it probably took you 20 seconds to answer that question. If you don't have the test day data booklet, that's okay as well. You can take a look at IRPA. We have Regulation A87-2B, and they intend to reside in the province that has nominated them. Furthermore, IRPA Article 127, no person shall knowingly, directly or indirectly misrepresent or withhold material facts. If you don't have IRPA, you can take a look at the OPs. We have OP7b Section 6.3. Okay, so a PNP agreement certificate is given to an applicant who intends to reside in that province. Alright, so that means you can't apply for Nova Scotia and then move, the second that you land, you move to Toronto. Only once you meet your permanent residency requirements. Alright, so now that we've seen those sources, I'll give you just 40 seconds to take a look at this again. Maybe your answer has changed, or maybe this just confirmed your answer. Alright, so let's take a look at A. Do you think A is correct or incorrect? Seems a little bit obvious, right? A is obviously incorrect. You can't advise your client to lie to the government. So that indirectly you're lying to the government as well. So that would get you in trouble with, of course, everybody. If you think A is correct, read your code of conduct, please. Alright, so the code of conduct from the ICCRC, of course, doesn't allow you to do this type of stuff, and IRPA as well doesn't allow you to. So it's legal for yourself and for your client as well. Let's take a look at C. Alright, again, it's the same thing. You can't take on a client who you know will break the law, because indirectly you're breaking the law. And of course you're in violation of the Code of Conduct, Section 2.2.8. So then you're left with B and D. This happens sometimes where you're choosing between two answers, and then one is just a little bit more correct, so you choose that one there. Okay, D is not correct either, because you have to think of the first step with this. First of all, you're possibly breaching the confidentiality between yourself and your client. And the reason you're there is to advise him on what is legal and what is illegal, and of course the best method for him to immigrate. So if he says he wants to do this, you wouldn't report him right away. You'd advise him. And then if he's still going to do it, then that's a different situation. But yes, the correct answer is you'll advise him that he'll be ineligible for a PNP program in Alberta if he plans on moving to Ontario right away. Okay, so of course there are a couple of directions you can look at this question through. The ICCRC Code of Conduct, of course, doesn't allow you to coach clients into providing false information. You can't accept clients who you know will break the law. And of course you can't break confidentiality. And then all of the corresponding articles that we saw earlier, of course, lying to the government is illegal. Okay, so on behalf of myself and Lisette, a big thank you to all of you for your videos. We've been getting your emails as well. So a big thank you for that. And you can take a look at our website, fullskillsexamprep.com, for more practice questions. And our Facebook site, we have tons and tons and tons of updates every week that help you pass your exam. And of course you can email us at fullskillsexamprep.com.